Good afternoon. My name is Scott Riley, Chief Strategic Officer at T3Live.com. Welcome to today's recap. So today was a little, wishy-washy type day. Most things opened up with Facebook. There really wasn't that much opportunity after the open. Microsoft, you could have made some cute money short. If you shorted it perfectly in the first, 5 to 15 minutes. And the same thing with Facebook. Then both didn't really, crash, but they didn't, gap up and hold and then travel higher all day. So now they'll have to figure out what's next. They'll put, get to those charts after. Netflix kind of, similar action where yesterday it lost a little momentum. Today you had your downside follow through, but it held where it had to. Twitter, looked good early on and then broke that one pivot level, but still looks just fine. It's just going to probably be a little bit slower before it decides if it wants to make a post earnings high. So a little bit of caution in the air. So anyway, here's a chart of the S&P cash. All in all, still holding the 8-day. As I say before, you can't get too bearish as long as you're holding the 8-day or the 21-day. All in all, 29.40, 29.36. Some guys are saying, hey, look at the double top, Red Dog. Okay, if that's really the case, we're going to have a double top here, which I'm not saying there is or there isn't. This is 29.12. You can almost draw this differently now, like this, where if it does a hard break below 29.12, hey, you know what, maybe maybe the bears try and test the 28.91 level. We'll see. This is the 21-day. We've gone down to the 21-day and then still went again. So not everything's going to be so high strung. So right now the market's been high strung as far as the bulls in full control, fast and rapidly, and now we'll see if that continues. So anyway, 29.12 will be tomorrow's pivot we trade against. Qs. A little bit of a Red Dog reversal where it traded above this and then came back below it. So we'll see if that leads to something tomorrow. This was that high here, went above 190.74, couldn't hold it. So now you'll see, does it get here towards the 8-day? This is your 8-day, whereas the 8-day now, the 8-day is, get rid of this. Again, this was the morning plan. So we'll see how the 8-day holds. The 8-day right now is all the way down at 188.06. So let's get rid of this, 188.06. So that's the important spot. This is high strung spot. This is 188.06, where it's still fine. Where that's where the trend has been holding. So the low, I don't know what the low the day was. What is this, 189.45? So I guess that's important. So I might as well put that in there. 189.45. In order to get to 188, you got to get through 189.45, and we'll see how we open tomorrow. It's there. And then this is all the way down here. So anyway, a little bit of a push-through failure, not the end of the world, but, an adjustment point if that's what you do. And now we'll see what happens here next over the next, tomorrow. Not the next session, so tomorrow we'll see. The small caps, I tried to be long, I tried to be cute, I tried to be like, hey, I'm going to be long the small caps. We pushed above 158 and change. I'm going to add to it. Well, gave you a trade yesterday, and then whatever I had left over, I got stopped out fast as it took out yesterday's lows. What a horrible sector. It's just a horrible sector these days. All in all, if you want to take a close look here, that's what it is. It pushed above 158.18, went to 158.69. They did sell some and then, got, it just hit it out when it broke 157. And where did it get down to? Went down as low as 155.47. Geez. So now this turns into 155.47 and, we'll see what happens next. All in all, a very untradeable, get rid of this 157 now, very untradeable, just untradeable sector right now, especially if you want to be long. Even if you want to be short, it hasn't been that easy. But anyway, this is the IWM, so still kind of hanging around. It's just more of a choppy mess than not. So we'll see what happens in here next. This was almost like a push-through failure, so this doesn't, so this kind of negates that. So now that's out. So this is 158.69, and this is higher, 159.60, and now I guess tomorrow we'll see, does it hold this or does it become a bigger headwind by breaking that? And this low here is 155.81, so I might as well put that in 155.81. So those are the three sections, 155.81. The banks tried to perk up today, but there was no power there. If you added to them, you definitely were a little upset or disappointed. I don't know what happened here. Let's get rid of this. Why is this doing this? Delete. I don't know where this came from. Delete. So now we'll just do a line here, just so this is that's where the last bottom was. You almost actually, instead of this, you just get rid of this line now, and this now, comes across. So that's just the peak. So anyway, that is that. The small caps I probably will not be trading again for a while, but I'll look to see if they break this spot. The banks, BAC, gave you a push. Couldn't really get above and stay above. Came in a little bit. I kind of think it's for option expiration. They want to close it somewhere around 30. I have more than I came in with, and I actually lost money in this because I bought too much through 320 and it's still hanging in here. If you want to bring your stop up, you could really lose 29.78, but I'm still going to use this 29.40 just because, I just think that's a better spot to use. So you're not over trading. I don't know. It's very sticky today. This. Hold on. Sorry. This is up here. Still no power. Because of option expirations, maybe a next week's story. So we'll see if it's a next week's story. Okay, so let's move on. Let's move on to high beta tech, Netflix, 2 days in a row. But, kind of held this area. So, it is hanging in there. So you can't really be too bearish on it. It's just that it's going to take a little bit more time. This came into the low. What was the low today? 365.70. So now that is your new pivot. We'll see, does that hold tomorrow? 365.70 did bounce off that. Guys in the chat room were all over that. Congratulations. I guess now this has to be moved up to here almost because that matters more, right? Because now it's just not as tight. This is done, and now what's going to happen here? I guess this could be more like this now. Is this a retest of this breakout of the line? Why does this keep shaking around? We'll see. I'm going to get rid of this so we could, worry about, the language tomorrow, which it is Friday. I'll be in Short Hills, so it'll be a very limited note. But here, this is 365.70. That's what you're going to trade against. Amazon did report after the close. I did take a small lotto trade for 2,000, which obviously is not going to happen. I put small equity behind it, which I did tell you also, probably a third of what I put into Twitter and Facebook and Marvell, just to have something in case. And actually, I made what I lost there after hours. There was a nice trade early on. It went through 1930, went to 1970, so there was some money there. And then it came in, and now I just feel like it's not worth it. It's a solid report, but not enough to get it really exciting. So anyway, Amazon, it's going to probably be a little choppy, right? And right now, here's your 1929. This is the low of the day, 1896. It did hit as high as 1968 for a quickie, and now it's a whole. I don't anticipate this happening unless they say something on their conference call, but like a split or something. But I doubt it. So anyway, we'll see what happens tomorrow. It's definitely a little bit choppier. Google is next week. We'll see what happens here. This is not so bad. Still hanging in here, creating another flag. So we'll see what happens tomorrow or next week. At least there'll be a pivot area, so maybe if it's more solid. I still think they're monetizing, Google, YouTube, but nobody's really talking about it because of the Fortnite and whatever. But anyway, this is now support, right? What's the low here? 1258, 1259. So this is about 1255-ish. So that's for tomorrow. And I haven't really traded it for a few days just because there's not much to do here as it consolidates ahead of numbers. And the way Facebook traded today, no one was in a rush to really do much with Google. So now we'll see what happens tomorrow. This is 1291. What else? Did I go over Twitter? Twitter. I posted the chart. All in all, it's still fine. It broke this 38.80, so now this doesn't mean anything anymore. If you use that as your stop, which was that low, okay. I stopped out of some and I tried to buy a little bit more. Now for tomorrow, here's 38.19. Does that hold? If not, then all you have is the gap here. It would kind of be, it won't be great if this thing breaks that, because it shouldn't really give back more than this. If it's going to get above 40.54 in the near-term future, it probably shouldn't get much below this 38.19. You want to see some upper commitment here. You want to see some, FOMO, buy high, sell higher, but it starts breaking below it, all of a sudden, home on the range. I have to be a little bit more careful. So now this is done, so we'll see what's next here. As far as Twitter's concerned, we're now, after the report, you're always concerned about speed. You don't want to get into things too early. You don't want to get into things too late. You don't want to, be in a rush if the stock's not in a rush, and that's what you figure out on retracements. Retracement rules help give you guys some, or give us some clues on how fast something's going to move and how or not. Facebook also, this is what I tweeted you guys before. Same thing stands. Not a whole lot to say here except for this is the 192.12 is now the gap. Does it hold and go sideways? If it breaks into this gap and continues lower, it's going to take a lot more time to get above that. If it were to get above that, 185 is the gap fill, so we'll see. Microsoft, big topping tail. Got, I would say I said don't buy it today. Well, hopefully you didn't. I actually made some money short. We had a short the first 5-10 minutes. To me, it looks like this is going to break this and give you a little bit of a short trade. I probably should be a little bit short overnight. I'm just not. 128.83. If it breaks that level tomorrow, maybe you could be short. Way too extended. This is just so extended. This gap should get filled, or a big portion of it. Look at where the 8-day moving average is. Wow. Look where it broke out from. Wow. So this to me is an exhaustion gap, and you definitely should not be long it if you're active. What else? Intel, I think was down. Wow. Goodbye, Intel. Remember we were shorting Intel up here? There was up on that 5G news. Anyway, boom, look at that. All right, so hopefully no one's in Intel. I don't think anyone is. I don't even think we're really looking at it. I'm not in Intel, and I got out of my AMD today when it opened up and failed. So this will probably pressure the group tomorrow. We'll see. All in all, getting a little choppier. I think I had like 10, 15 positions on earlier this week. Now I have 5 or 6 with some options just in case. Whenever I have more options in stock, that means I'm a little bit more careful. Anyway, this is now gone as this engulfed this day. So it's now over. If you're giving it to 27-ish, okay, that's a different story. Better use that as a stop. ACB, I'm still in some. Not really doing a whole heck of a lot, getting tighter in here. I'm trying to stay with it, and we'll see what happens. CGC is acting better. Look at that nice bull flag ahead of this. So maybe there's you either have to be long some just in case it opens above that if you really think it's going to happen, or you wait till it trades through this. But all in all, it's getting really tight again. Interesting. See what happens next. All right, so with all that said, it's Thursday. It's been a long week. I think it's been a pretty good week. I think a lot of guys made really good money on Twitter options, even trading Twitter, on Facebook options and trading Facebook. We've had a bunch of other things happening along the way. You guys that made money with Qualcomm short yesterday into today with DP, congratulations. I did buy some AMRN. I haven't traded in a while, but my calls that I had are going worthless, so I figured let me look again. Chart-wise, I'm in a little bit. I'm also in some calls because you never know with bios. I hate being in a bio if all of a sudden, it's going to drop, 50%. But sometimes, they could get really, really exciting. And at this point, the chart looks good. Today gave you, a clue to maybe be long some options or stock, and I'm in it, and that's why. We'll see. I got to jump. I have a lacrosse practice. I'm doing a party tonight at the Hills. If you're in New Jersey and you want to stop by, I'm promoting a good band just for the fun of it. It's the name of the label. That's what I like to do once a season, just for the fun of it. It's good to get out and mingle with your friends and people in town and this and that. So anyway, I'll be in Short Hills tomorrow. I don't have a heck of a lot going on between now and tomorrow. You see my positions. Nothing's that big. We'll see how it goes. I actually have a hedge on some spiders just in case. And I will talk to you in the morning. Have a good night.